I watched a lot of films in my life, and some of those movies taken a lasting impact on me. The good things about movies, much like art, they let you travel to another world. So, with art inspiring one, can we all agree that art can inspire art? If you've seen the video title, you know what we're getting ready to talk about. So you ask yourself, why is the Phantom talking about movies and not stealth? Well, I have the answer to that question with one name, Hideo Kojima, the man that tried to reach for the stars and went over to the moon. Welcome back to Retrospective. Today we're sneaking our way into Hideo Kojima director debut with Metal Gear. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to rescue the like button, punch the subscribe button, and shoot the notification bell so you won't miss out on the upcoming retrospectives. Let's dive into this. To understand the inception of Metal Gear in 1987, it's imperative to delve into the formative years of his revolutionary career. Hideo Kojima. Born in 1963, Kojima's early years unfolded against the backdrop of Osaka, Japan, where he, at the tender age of 4, developed a profound connection with television and film alongside his family. Despite societal skepticism regarding the value of watching movies, Kojima found inspiration in the diverse genres he explored. This cinematic passion, rather than engaging in typical childhood games, spurred him to collaborate with his friends to bring his cinematic visions to life. Even as Kojima transitioned to university, where he initially pursued economics, the allure of film remained irresistible. Realizing his true calling lay in the world of cinema, he harbored aspirations, earning accolades for his creative endeavors. When faced with obstacles on this path, Kojima contemplated alternative routes to manifest his dreams. Simultaneously, his passion for gaming begging him to consider the gaming industry as a conduit to express his cinematic visions. In the 1980s, Kojima diverted from his collegiate pursuits and joined Konami's game development team in 1986. Initially assigned to the home computer division, Kojima yearned to contribute to the NES Famicom. Reflecting on this period in an interview with MSX magazine, Kojima shared, "Back in my college days, I thought about joining the gaming industry since I spent most of my free time at video arcades, but the MSX hardly crossed my mind." Despite this initial divergence, Kojima's relentless work ethic garnered him Konami's attention, leading him to his appointment as assistant director for Penguin Adventure. This dedication, coupled with his creative aspirations, eventually prompted Konami to entrust him with the development of his own game, Lost World. Set Aboard the Titanic was envisioned to be Kojima's debut project. However, this endeavor faced a demise after 6 months, succumbing to the hardware limitations of the MSX. Reflecting on his cancellation, Kojima recalled, "Lost World was the first project I was assigned to, and the game was canceled after 6 months. It was a serious blow to all of us on the team, and I couldn't believe it." The setback left Kojima as the lone member within the company without a release game, prompting fellow developers to encourage him at least complete one game before you die. Undented by the setback, Kojima viewed it as a pivotal learning experience. The subsequent turn of events provided him with a second chance when a senior developer stepped down from a game called Project N312, a modern military combat game for the MSX2. Reflecting on this opportunity, Kojima shared, "I think it could be told now. At the time, there was a popular arcade game by Capcom titled Commando, and I was told to make a game similar to that, but on the MSX. Inspired by films like The Great Escape, Kojima envisioned a gameplay approach centered around evasion over a direct confrontation. This unconventional decision was met with skepticism and almost pushed Kojima to leave Konami. I remember the film The Great Escape, and I thought it would be a great approach for something distinct. My first concept was for a game where you are a prisoner of war and simply had to escape. If you were caught, you'd be brought back to the prison. The idea was for a non-combat game." In the midst of these challenges, Kojima's determination faced a turning point. After months of struggling to make his voice heard, he finally succeeded in convincing the most senior member of the team to meet with him. Reflecting on a crucial juncture, Kojima shared, "He listened to my frustration, a moment that signaled a pivotal shift in development." The supportive senior member then approached one of the higher-ups in the company, someone who recognized Kojima's potential, and invited him to pitch his revolutionary ideas in front of the entire team. It was a transformative moment as everyone saw the game as a groundbreaking concept from that moment forward. Kojima had the unwavering support of the team. This turn of events became a cornerstone of realization of Kojima's vision, marking the beginning of his collaborative journey that would birth a new game. As the game neared completion, a fitting title was imperative. Initially conceived as Intruder, trademark issue necessitated a change, leading to the iconic Metal Gear named after the game's primary weapon. The box art featured cowries from the 1984 film Terminator, which Kojima had no input on. The impending release amplified pressure on Kojima as the success of Metal Gear could elevate his career, while failure might shatter his aspiration. The culmination of these intricate threads unfolded on July 13, 1987, when Metal Gear made its groundbreaking debut. This seminal game, born from the trials and tribulations of Hideo Kojima's journey, not only marked the beginning of an era in gaming history, but also served as a foundation for a franchise that would redefine the landscape of narrative storytelling. Okay, just a quick spoiler alert, because I'm about to summarize the narrative of Metal Gear. If you're against spoilers, you can advance this video to the gameplay overview section as seen on the timeline below. Let's dive into this. In 1995, the Metal Gear narrative unfolds in the depths of deep South Africa, specifically 200 kilometers of North Garsberg, where Outer Heaven, a fortress nation, stands as a creation of a legendary mercenary. Responding to intelligence that a weapon of mass destruction was under construction within Outer Heaven, the U.S. government enlisted the expertise of the renowned high-tech Special Forces Unit Foxhound, led by the legendary soldier Big Boss. The crucial mission assigned to them was to infiltrate the enemy fortress, evaluate the situation, and eliminate any threat of a weapon posed to the west. Stepping into the role of executing this sneaking mission was Gray Fox, one of Foxhound's elite agents. Regrettably, the mission culminated in failure as Gray Fox was captured. However, before his last transmission abruptly cut, he managed to lay a crucial message back to Foxhound. His final words, echoing with gravity, were simple but ominous: Metal Gear. Following Gray Fox's capture, Foxhound faced the urgent need to formulate a plan for its retrieval. A few days later, the mantle of this critical mission fell upon the shoulders of a rookie operative, Solid Snake, marking his infiltration into Foxhound. In a briefing conducted by his commanding officer, Big Boss, Solid Snake received a comprehensive overview of the situation. Accompanying the briefing was the delivery of a classified document outlining Gray Fox's infiltration route. In a decisive move, Big Boss assigned Solid Snake a follow-up mission titled Operation Intrude N313. The dual objectives of this mission were clear: rescue Gray Fox and unearth the truth concealed behind the entity known as Metal Gear. The operation unfolded with Snake's daring infiltration of Outer Heaven, using an underwater insertion for a covert approach. Within the fortress, Snake gathered intelligence through interaction with prisoners and the resistance leader, Kyle Schneider, ultimately pinpointing Gray Fox's location. To reach Fox, Snake allowed himself to be captured, enduring in the confiscation of all his weapons and equipment. Following Big Boss guidance, Snake exploited a weakened prison wall, breaking through to find Fox's adjacent cell. Here, Fox unraveled the truth of Metal Gear, revealing it is a walking battle tank capable of launching nuclear missiles from any terrain. Fortunately, the weapon remained dormant in a hangar, yet to be activated. Fox entrusted Snake with a critical mission: locate Dr. Petrovich, the mastermind behind Metal Gear, imprisoned within the courtyard. Upon breaking free, Snake confronted the prisoner's warden, Shotmaker, who declared the impossibility of escaping the facility. Forced into a strategic retreat due to the absence of his equipment, Snake, upon reclaiming his belongings and eliminating a planted transmitter, engaged in a decisive battle with Shotmaker. Having successfully defeated Shotmaker and other adversaries, Snake continued his mission by navigating to the rooftop of Building 1. To access the inner courtyard, he continued a daring parachute descent, equipped with a bomb blast suit to counteract the wind barrier. His progress, however, was impeded by a Hind-D gunship stationed in his path, forcing Snake into a confrontation. Using a grenade launcher, he managed to destroy the gunship, allowing him to safely parachute into the courtyard. Upon reaching Dr. Petrovich's anticipated location, Snake was met with an empty cell. Fortunately, he rescued another hostage who disclosed that Dr. Petrovich was alive but had been relocated to the basement of Building 2. Navigating to the interconnecting desert between the two structures, Snake found himself confronting a recently deployed tank. Resourceful and undeterred, he utilized landmines to dismantle the tank, overcoming yet another obstacle. Continuing his pursuit, Snake reached the entrance to Building 2, only to be faced with a contingent of guards stationed at the entrance. Outer Heaven's personnel, now aware of Foxhound's infiltration attempts, had set up a checkpoint to stop any unauthorized entries into Building 2. In this critical juncture, Big Boss reached out to Snake, advising him to use a disguise to gain entrance. Simultaneously, he informed Snake about to change his radio frequency to 120.13. Resourcefully, Snake managed to secure an enemy uniform, using it as his ticket to infiltrate Building 2. Traveling through a waterway, he encountered an armored bulldozer. Undentured, Snake skillfully dispatched it using a grenade launcher. Descending to the basement, he finally reached Dr. Petrovich, only to realize that this apparent discovery was a decoy. Driven by deception, the decoy activated a suicide trap, but Snake, quickly thinking, allowed him to evade the danger. Undentured by the deceptive ploy, Snake pressed on, determined to uncover the true Dr. Petrovich's whereabouts. Along the way, he faced a triumph over the fire trooper as his quest for answers continued. Snake encountered Jennifer, a member of the Resistance. With her assistance, he not only located the real Dr. Petrovich, but was also equipped with a rocket launcher, a crucial asset in facing the Arnold cyberoids, guarding the vicinity where Dr. Petrovich was imprisoned. In a fierce battle, Snake successfully destroyed the Arnolds, clearing the path to Dr. Petrovich's cell. Upon entering the cell, Snake confronted Dr. Petrovich, who revealed a vital condition for sharing information on how to destroy Metal Gear. He demanded the rescue of his imprisoned daughter, Ellen. Snake retraced his steps to the basement of Building 2. Here, he received guidance from the Resistance member Diane, who provided crucial insights on Ellen's location. Ellen, it turned out, was in the basement of Building 1. Fortunately, an underground passageway connected the two basements, albeit fraught with pit traps. Snake skillfully navigated, successfully rescuing Ellen. He disclosed a harrowing truth. Her father, Dr. Petrovich, had been coerced into developing Metal Gear against his will. Snake gathered more pieces of the puzzle. The intricate web of deception and coercion surrounding Metal Gear continued to unravel. With new information in hand, Snake retraced his steps, returning to Dr. Petrovich for further insights. Dr. Petrovich disclosed a critical detail. Metal Gear TX-55 was situated on the 100th floor basement of Building 3, located 20 kilometers to the north. To obliterate this weapon, Snake had strategically placed plastic explosive on his feet in a specific sequence. Snake takes this information and embarks on the journey to Building 3. However, upon arrival, he found himself ambushed by enemy forces, skillfully evading the threat. Snake pressed on, navigating his way to the elevator. Yet, as he approached the underground base, an unexpected challenge emerged. Big Boss. His commanding officer began behaving strangely, providing faulty information that could have derailed Snake's process, and even having a fourth-breaking wall moment where he tells Snake to turn off the MSX. Upon reaching the 100th floor basement, Snake encountered an obstacle lacking the necessary card key to proceed. Jennifer, once again in contact with Snake, provided a solution. She directed him to a destructible wall, behind which an oxygen tank was concealed. This tank will provide crucial for Snake's journey through the drainage duct in Building 2, where he could locate the required card key. Jennifer, however, attached a condition to her assistance. Snake must save her brother. Navigating through the drainage duct, Snake faced a formidable challenge in the form of Coward Duck. Duck strategically used prisoners of war as shield and employed boomerangs to attack Snake. Seizing an opportune moment, Snake closed in for a decisive confrontation, defeating Dirty Duck in close combat. In the aftermath, Snake rescued the POWs, revealing that one of them was Jennifer's brother. Grateful for his liberation, Jennifer's brother not only expressed his thanks, but also shared valuable information to aid Snake's escape from the fortress. Returning to the 100th floor basement of Building 3, Snake received a transmission from Schneider, promising revelations about the truth behind Outer Heaven's leader. However, the transmission was abruptly cut short when Schneider was captured. Despite sustaining energies from confrontations with Outer Heaven's elite mercenaries, Snake pressed on, undentured. His journey led him to Metal Gear's hangar, where he followed Dr. Petrovich's instruction, strategically placing explosives on the weapon's feet. Snake successfully orchestrates the destruction of Metal Gear, yet the triumph was short-lived, as the fortress self-destruct sequence promptly initiated, casting a shadow over the impending chaos within Outer Heaven. During his escape, Snake confronted the mysterious leader of Outer Heaven, who shockingly revealed himself as Big Boss. In a startling revelation, Snake learned that his mission was a ruse aimed to collect false information. However, Snake's unexpected success had thwarted Big Boss's grand plans, crushing his ambitions. Faced with this unforeseen turn of events, the legendary mercenary pledged not to meet his demise alone. Engaging in a battle, Snake emerged victorious over Big Boss. Swiftly, he navigated towards the escape route where the self-destruct timer was rapidly ticking down. As Outer Heaven crumbled behind him, Snake successfully made his escape. Communicating with HQ, he delivered the crucial news that Metal Gear had been destroyed, marking the success of Operation Intrude N313. The South African radio station KNK swiftly reported breaking news from an earthquake in the Gasberg region before the sunrise, signaling the far-reaching impact of Snake's actions. So if you remember earlier in the video, I spoke about Hideo Kojima being heavily influenced by movies. This passion of his is shown in his characters, narrative, and themes. Let's start with his characters. Solid Snake, the protagonist of Metal Gear, is a multifaceted character shaped by a fusion of diverse influences. Drawing inspiration from action movie archetypes such as Snake Plissken from Escape from New York and Michael Brennan's portrayal of Kyle Reese in Terminator, Snake stands as a testament to the ambiguation of climactic brilliance. Kojima envisioned Snake as the player's presence in Metal Gear, intentionally providing limited scripted interactions and a vague personality. This deliberate ambiguity transforms Snake into a narrative canvas, allowing players to project their own identity and interpretations, fostering an immersive experience where the game becomes an extension of their actions. The addition of Solid to Snake's name reflects Kojima's pursuit of paradox. Contrary to the sleek and stealthy image associated with snakes, the name Solid Snake introduces a contradictory element, hinting at layers beyond the surface. The choice contributes to the intricacy of Snake's character. Snake's visual representation, notably the cover artwork and manual of the original Metal Gear, draws inspiration from external sources. The resemblance of Michael Brennan's Kyle Reese character in the Terminator adds a climactic touch, further aligning Snake with the action movie genre. Although it must be noted, Hideo Kojima had no parts in selecting Michael Brennan's portrayal for the cover art. Snake transcends his origins as a pastiche of action heroes to become a fully realized protagonist. Deliberate decisions in design, both visual and narrative, contribute to the immersive experience that Metal Gear offers players, solidifying Solid Snake as an enduring and iconic figure in video game storytelling. Now for the narrative, it is heavily inspired by movies like Rambo and The Great Escape. Rambo shared notable parallels with Metal Gear in both the movie and game. A solitary hero is thrust into a high-stakes mission. In Rambo, John Rambo, a skilled, resourceful soldier, is tasked with a mission deep within enemy territory to rescue prisoners of war. Similarly, Metal Gear's protagonist, Solid Snake, is a lone operative assigned to infiltrate a heavily fortified enemy stronghold, Outer Heaven, to neutralize the threat posed by a nuclear walking tank, Metal Gear. The themes of espionage, military operations, and the lone warrior confronting overwhelming odds echo throughout both narratives. The emphasis on stealth and infiltration in Metal Gear finds resonance in The Great Escape. This 1963 film, based on real events during World War II, chronicles a group of Allied prisoners in a German POW camp as they meticulously plan to execute a mass escape. Metal Gear adopts similar elements, portraying Snake as a stealthy infiltrator, relying on cunning and wit to navigate complex environments and evade adversaries. The importance of planning, forging alliances, and utilizing limited sources for an escape is a central motif in both narratives. The camaraderie among characters in both Metal Gear and The Great Escape is a compelling similarity. In the film, a diverse group of prisoners collaborates, each contributing their unique skills to the escape plan. This dynamic mirrors Metal Gear's ensemble cast, where characters with distinct abilities and backgrounds come together under Snake's leadership to achieve a common goal. In a tweet from Kojima in 2013, he stated, "I wanted to make games of the movie The Great Escape. It's the beginning, the tension while avoiding searchlights around the wall crawling forward. This movie was one of the driving forces of the narrative and gameplay, and it shows throughout the entirety of your experience." In John Rambo's interactions with his superiors are fraught with conflict, mirroring Solid Snake's complex relationship with commanding officers, especially Big Boss, who was later revealed to be a central antagonist. While Metal Gear is a distinct creation in the realm of video games, its narrative DNA is undeniably entwined with the war film genre. Particularly the narratives found in Rambo and The Great Escape. Through its blend of stealthy gameplay, intricate plots, and dynamic characters, Metal Gear plays homage to these climactic classics while carving its own unique legacy in the gaming world. The echoes of these influential films resonate through Metal Gear series, creating a rich and immersive experience for players who appreciate the intersection of video game storytelling and climactic brilliance. As for themes, Hideo Kojima left an undeniable mark, and nowhere is more apparent in this game, which he crafted with meticulous attention to detail. This game weaves a tapestry of complex themes that transcend traditional gaming narratives. Each facet of the game reflects Kojima's visionary approach to storytelling, drawing inspiration from real-world concerns, climactic influences, and deep exploration of the human condition. At the heart of Metal Gear is the specter of nuclear warfare. Kojima, influenced by the geopolitical tensions of the Cold War, uses the titular Metal Gear as a bipedal nuclear-armed tank, a symbol of the catastrophic consequences that advanced weapon technology can unleash upon the world. Kojima's fascination with espionage and classic spy films is evident in the game's emphasis of stealth. Metal Gear places players in a world of covert operations, mirroring the tension and strategic depth of the clandestine realm of spies. The narrative complexity of Metal Gear reflects Kojima's interest in military intrigue and political machinations. Players navigate a web of alliances and betrayals, uncovering the true motives behind the creation of Metal Gear and delving into the shadowy world of government organizations. Kojima prompts players to confront the ethical implications of warfare and the development of advanced weaponry. The creation of Metal Gear serves as a focal point for questioning the responsibility of scientists and the morality of creating weapons with catastrophic potential. A recurring theme in Metal Gear is a struggle between individualism and authority. Protagonist Solid Snake embodies the lone hero, facing overwhelming odds, standing against powerful organizations. Kojima explores the capacity of individuals to effect change in the face of authority. Metal Gear pays homage to Kojima's love for climactic storytelling, from the protagonist Solid Snake, inspired by characters like Snake Plissken, visual elements reminiscent of iconic movie scenes. The theme of freedom versus control is a central exploration in Metal Gear. The walking nuclear tank becomes a symbol of power that can shift the balance of the world. Kojima challenges players to reflect who should they wield such power and potential consequences of its misuse. Reflecting concerns about the unchecked technological development, Metal Gear underscores the danger of advancing technology. The game raises questions about the responsible use of powerful tools and the potential for catastrophic consequences when such tools fall into the wrong hands. Solid Snake's lone journey into enemy territory highlights themes of isolation and independence. Kojima emphasizes the individual's capacity to navigate a world dominated by powerful institutions, exploring personal agency within the context of the game's narrative. The game catapults players into the covert world of espionage as they assume the role of Solid Snake. As players navigate through the various locations within the enemy stronghold known as Outer Heaven, the game's intricate gameplay mechanics unfold, emphasizing stealth, strategy, and resource management. The core gameplay revolves around avoiding direct confrontation with patrolling guards, immersing players in an atmosphere of tension and secrecy. Solid Snake's objective is to infiltrate the enemy base, and any visual contact triggers the game's alert mode, initiating a sequence of events that demand strategic evasion. If it is a single exclamation mark only, the present screen enemies engage. Moving fast or switching to another screen can halt the alert. Double exclamation marks are triggered by being spotted by cameras or unsilenced weapons. Reinforcements join the pursuit. Escaping involves eliminating enemies, entering an elevator shaft, leaving buildings, or engaging in a boss fight. The journey begins unarmed, but Solid Snake progressively requires an arsenal of firearms, starting with the Beretta and expands to machine guns and guided rocket launchers. Obtaining ammo is pretty simplistic, thanks to the technology. Simply walking in or out of areas where either ammo or rations respawns the items, and they can be collected again and again and again, somewhat giving players infinite supplies. The game offers many obstacles like hollow walls that can be destroyed with plastic explosives, and electrified floors that can be avoided by missiles. Outer Heaven compromises 3 distinct buildings, each housing multiple floors, including basement levels. Keycards and items serve as tools to unlock doors to explore new areas. Doors respond exclusively to matching keycards, adding an element of puzzle solving to the gameplay. Players have the opportunity to rescue POWs within the enemy's base, unlocking valuable information and contributing to their rank. Rescuing 5 POWs results in a promotion, enhancing resource capacity and health. However, the stakes are high as death of a POW leads to demotion in rank. The transceiver serves as Solid Snake's lifeline, enabling a communication with Big Boss, the commanding officer, and covert resistance members within Outer Heaven. Allies provide crucial insights based on their expertise, with transmissions tailored to specific locations, emphasizing the importance of reconnaissance. So as some of you may or may not know, when it comes to the original Metal Gear, it's a tale of 2 games. Determining which game you might have played first depends on your location. Metal Gear, originally released in July 1987 for the MSX in Japan, embarked a transformative journey across platforms. This evolution not only mirrored technological advancements, but also underscored the enduring allure of Hideo Kojima's creation. Debuting in Japan on July 13, 1987, with the English release in Europe the same year, the MSX2 version faced unique challenges. The Japanese rendition, formatted entirely in katakana with romanized character names, contrasted sharply with the English version, written in uppercase with frequent grammatical errors. These variations reflected the challenges of adapting the game for different regions. Fast forwarding to August 18, 2004, Konami unveiled a notable port for feature phones through the Konami Net DX service in Japan, serving as a promotional tie-in for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. This version retained changes from the mobile release and introduced further enhancements. Subsequent releases such as Subsistence for the PlayStation 2 in 2005 and the HD edition for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2011, along with the PlayStation Vita in 2012, finally bringing the original game to the Western world. Expanding its reach, the MSX2 Metal Gear joined the Virtual Console lineup for the Wii in Japan on December 8, 2009. The ROM for this emulated re-release underwent modifications, aligning it more closely with later versions across different platforms. Now for the other port of Metal Gear. Transitioned to the Family Computer or Famicom in Japan on December 22, 1987, and subsequently crossing international borders with English localization for the Nintendo Entertainment System NES in North America in June 1988, Metal Gear faced a divergence from its original vision. The NES port, developed without the game's local team's consent, deviated significantly from the MSX2 version. The 3-month deadline imposed on the developers resulted in numerous alterations, leading to Kojima's disowning of this rendition for years after its release. Changes included the replacement of the Metal Gear balls with the supercomputer guarded by soldiers, modifications to level designs, and the introduction of passcodes for progress saving. The NES version, being the first in North America due to the absence of the MSX2 platform, served as the basis for home computer ports by Ultra Games in 1990 for the Commodore 64 along with the MS-DOS. These versions, with somewhat poor English translations, showcase Metal Gear's adaptability across diverse platforms. In a significant milestone, the MSX2 version found a prominent place in the Master Collection anthology set. This collection, featuring both the NES/Famicom and MS2 versions, marked a historic moment for the first time. Both versions were made playable together. Additionally, it represented the first instance of the MSX2's version being playable on a Nintendo console outside of Japan, solidifying Metal Gear's enduring legacy and adaptability across gaming platforms. In my honest opinion, when it comes to these two ports, it's better to play the original game from the Subsistence disc or the HD collection, as it's the closest way Kojima intended audience to experience his creation. I do find this a bit ironic as well, because if you also remember earlier in the video, I touched upon Kojima's disdain for the MSX and originally wanting to bring his game over to the NES due to colors. It's funny to think that his dream actually came true, just not the way that he wanted it. Metal Gear, initially released on the MSX2, quickly gained commercial traction in Japan. It secured a spot among the top-selling MSX games, showcasing sustained popularity for several months. The NES version, which followed, achieved international acclaim by selling a remarkable 1 million units in the United States. Its consistent presence in the top 10 affirmed its status as a major success, competing closely with iconic titles like Super Mario Bros. 2. The MSX version received positive reviews, particularly from the games machine, with a 79% score. The review praised the graphics and the expansive game area, highlighting the perpetual action and suspense. In an article, it was written that the initial impression of disdain at this too impressively animated Macho Man may rapidly change on delving deeper. The area of play is enormous, the backdrop's immersive, and each room contains a different puzzle to be solved with either brain or brawn. Traps, security systems, and guards abound, ensuring that the action and suspense never warrants. A good sense of being there is accomplished, and the urge to get further in the game is quite strong. If this standard of Konami software is maintained, then maybe more people will think hard about joining the other 200,000 MSX owners. The addictive nature of the game and desire to delve deeper into its intricacies were emphasized. The review expressed optimism about the quality of Konami software, anticipating increased interest in MSX among gamers. Famitsu's initial rating of the Famicom version at 24 out of 40 in 1988 indicated a favorable reception, with subsequent 3 out of 5 stars in 1989. Game players commended Metal Gear for its challenging gameplay, likening it to a strategic and a stamina testing experience that surpassed other action games of its time. Computer Gaming World, while acknowledging its strong concept, pointed out areas for improvement, particularly in controls and the vulnerability of players when unarmed. Metal Gear's legacy secured a position in Nintendo's top 200 game list, holding the 104th spot. GamesRadar ranked it as the 6th best NES game, recognizing its role in popularizing the stealth action game genre. Electronic Gaming Monthly acknowledged its unique approach, placing the NES version as the 35th best console game. Game Informer's list of the top 100 video games of all time lauded Metal Gear for stealth aspects and compelling plot, cementing its place in gaming history. But besides critics, how did fans feel about Metal Gear? In examining their perspectives, enthusiasts recognize the MSX version's supremacy in the Metal Gear lineup. However, and identify flaw surfaces, tedium induced by the limited number of background music tracks during extended gameplay sessions. This nuanced critique reveals a balance between admiration and acknowledgement of imperfections. Contrastingly, other fans expressed a deep appreciation for the groundbreaking nature of the MSX version during its release. The sentiment extends to the enduring difficulty that characterized Metal Gear's initial entry. The cool music is highlighted as a notable feature that contributes to the game's allure. While the MSX version enjoys accolades, a resounding warning echoes against the NES rendition, bluntly states as it f***ing sucks. The sentiment is reinforced by additional comments, even invoking Hideo Kojima's reputed disdain for the NES version. A more detailed analysis unfolds in the comparison between the NES and MSX versions. The NES version earns acknowledgement for improvements in the menu organization and translation, yet prevailing recommendation leans towards the MSX2's rendition due to its superior overall quality. Other ports such as the 1990 DOS version and the Commodore 64 version are introduced with critical evaluations of their shortcomings. Fans engage in discussions regarding various versions of Metal Gear, unveiling insights into the rarity and subpar of quality of certain ports. The discussion expands to the limitations faced by developers seeking approval for the NES releases from Nintendo. While the MSX version stands as a pinnacle, the NES rendition faces unequivocal dismissal. The perspectives provide lens through which we witness the evolution and impact of a gaming legacy that continues to resonate with players worldwide. So if you're like me, your introduction to Metal Gear was on the PS1 with Metal Gear Solid. So I knew the backstory of this game before I played it. As I delved into the entirety of the original Metal Gear, I found the gameplay to be unique and quite a bit of nostalgia and distinctiveness. Admittedly, it may feel slower and different from today's gaming standards, but therein lies greatness. The swift acquisition of weapons early in the game proved instrumental, adding a layer of convenience to my gameplay. The rapid disappearance of alerts allowing for a speedy progression contribute to the overall enjoyment of this experience. However, one minor quibble emerged with the ID card system, requiring frequent switching between card levels without clear indications of the door's requirements. Despite this, the game's other strengths easily compensated for this minor inconvenience. Metal Gear's graphics, though dated by modern standards, were revolutionary in its time, earning a well-deserved 10 out of 10. The transition to a 2D environment did introduce challenges in gauging guard sightliness, adding an element of unpredictability to the stealth maneuvers. Yet, this ambiguity only heightened the suspense and excitement. Crossing fingers and making a run for it became part of the thrill. The auditory experience of Metal Gear, akin to the graphics, stood the test of time. While the soundtrack boasted a repetitive yet captivating beat, the absence of voice acting left room for improvement. The music, punctuated by changes during alert phases, boss battles, and specific arenas, retained its charm, contributing to the overall immersive atmosphere. Metal Gear holds a special place in gaming history as the inaugural installment that set the stage for the iconic series. The narrative featuring the leader of Foxhound, Big Boss, the rookie Solid Snake embarking on Operation Intrude N313 is etched in gaming lore. The mission to retrieve information on Metal Gear, rescue Gray Fox, and thwart nefarious plans for Petrovich, the mastermind behind Metal Gear's design, unfolded as a captivating tale. In retrospect, Metal Gear emerges not just as a game, but as a cultural touchstone, testament to the inception of an era-defining series. My admiration for this groundbreaking title remains unwavering, acknowledging its quirks as charming artifacts of its time and appealing its role in shaping the landscape of stealth action gaming. I speak for all fans of the series when I say this game needs a remake. I want to take a moment to thank you all for making it this far. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the future retrospectives. This is the Retro Phantom, signing out.